Hello, greetings, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we're gonna start a fire. Just kidding, no. So in today's video, I want to talk about what it means to be an INTJ, my experiences as an INTJ, the struggle of being an INTJ, the reality and truth of being an INTJ.
Is this on? Is this lit? I think it's lit. Alright, time for some shisha!
Okay, so thank you for tuning into this video, you guys. I welcome you with my love and my respects, as well as my shisha. So, I'm like a big fan of shisha now. This is like become a pastime over the last couple of years since I got sober and all that jazz. Alright, so if you've done the Myers-Briggs personality tests online, a lot of the times you'll notice people tend to fall into one or two fluctuating components of personality types. And the one that I kept consistently getting was the INTJ as well as the INFJ, I believe. So sometimes I'm judging, sometimes I'm feeling. I think and I believe that as, you know, a whole, most people have pre-existing, predetermining aspects and components to their personality types, and we usually fluctuate between two opposites, which is our light and our dark, so on and so forth. The odd time, depending on life circumstances, you will notice that your type potentially, possibly could change depending on the circumstances you're in. So with that being said, over duration of time, I've done the INTJ personality types consistently, kind of just like, you know, coming back to it and seeing if I really changed or anything, and I usually kept always ending up with the INTJ type. And something I noticed about being an INTJ, personally for myself, my experience with it is we do tend to have a very judgmental outlook on life, but it's not the fact that we are judging people as individuals and their experiences connected to them. It's that we're judging like the intuitions we get about people, and then we think about it, so we're always thought processing like more than other people, more than the other types, I noticed. And I noticed this is actually really true because I sat down with a gentleman, I believe a while back, when we could be in social settings, and I talked to them and I said, you know, I don't know how it came up, but the conversation came up, the fact that, you know, this is my personality type, and I could tell he was like me, and I was like very stimulated and intrigued, and I was kind of like, this is really attractive. And it was weird too, because he wasn't even like typically like aesthetically, visually my type. But then when I started talking to this man, I was like, I like you. Because he understood, right? Only your types, or people that are kind of on the spectrum of being your types, sort of have like this knowing or this understanding of you. So when I came into that awareness in that situation with this person, I was like,
this is unusual.
It's more rare for men to be INTJs than it is for women. So if you're a female, you typically tend to be more, you know, unusual if you're an INTJ. So, and this has sort of been something that's been a theme with me in my life. Yeah, INTJs tend to work better alone, and they tend to be better at directing others versus the opposite. And I've come across in many situations in my life in the previous past that this is a true reality for me. So, what am I trying to get at here? What am I trying to say? I guess I'm just trying to say, you know, yeah, this is my personality type, and I do sometimes, in fact, fluctuate in between the INFJ as well, the feeling. So sometimes I do have states in my life where I am more emotional, depending on the context and the situations of my life. See what I'm saying? So I don't hold these personality tests to like a standard, to the like, you know, because that's the thing with INTJs is we're able to analyze things so intensely to the point of being able to understand all sides of things, all angles, and because of that we seem cold, you know, uncaring, detached and disconnected, but that's actually not what it is at all. So I've noticed, you know, something else I've noticed from time to time with INTJs, depending on variables, we are more prone to like nihilistic thinking and really like dark sense of humor. I've noticed this. So yeah, and you can't gauge people online versus like being like in a video, versus just like, you know, typing words online versus like talking to them in a video and then being in person. That stuff is all relevant as well as irrelevant depending on the context of your dealings with people. So I've noticed, reflecting back on my 20s, you know, learning all different kinds of things about myself, experiences, you know, just situations I've been in my life that I've put myself in. Just not being able to just jive with people for some reason, and then just like the odd time I'm like, you know, selective and really good one-on-one. I'm kind of like good at mentoring and therapeutic methods, but when it comes to like big groups and stuff, it's like I get overwhelmed by all the conflicting considerations, the perspectives. Everybody has so many unique perspectives, and the INTJs, what they are able to do given the right situation, they don't need a very large group of people to get on those intense perspectives, especially if they're conflicting amongst large groups of people. So what ends up happening in situations is people end up not liking them. They think, oh, you're an asshole, you're arrogant, you have no feelings. It's like, no, it's just I'm able to hold that space as one individual while you need a group of people to hold that intense perspective on things. And it's really interesting, and I finally understand it now, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, that's why people think I'm like, you know, or people's perceptions and everybody are so, they're not always right. So I recommend like taking this personality test online. Sometimes people can fluctuate in between them depending on variables, like I said. So I thought it was interesting to share that because I tend to, you know, I've always been more of like an introverted individual, but the thing is with people with introverted tendencies, they tend to be very gifted in, you know, understanding where they put themselves in situations. So it's because of that introversion that they need to, you know, find the time to be extroverted. And as we all notice, like entertainers throughout history have these traits as well. So I thought that was really interesting to share, and I wanted to make a video about it because I think it's important for people to understand this about me, for people who know me, for people who think they knew me, and who have no idea who I even am actually. So I thought it was cool to share. So don't judge, even though I'm very judgmental. I'm not, okay, it's like this, I'm very judgmental of intuitions I have, and I'm judgmental of how those intuitions are put into action down in the future, because INTJs have this ability to see the bigger picture and then they work backwards. And I think I finally understand now why people have told me all my life, oh, you're backwards, you're like this, it's like because I see everything and then I have to build backwards to make everything come forward. It's a very confusing concept for some people, but this is actually how businesses work. And yeah, so I don't know, I thought that was interesting to share in terms of personality types and the personality tests online, the really common one that everybody's like all up in arms about. So are you an INTJ? Do you fall under the INTs or the INs or whatever, the introverted and whatever those things are? So yeah, I thought it was cool to share. Yeah, it's strange because regardless of really like your personality type or whatever, it can be tricky to figure this stuff out, especially if you're somebody who's had adverse experiences in your life. It tends to amplify that stuff. So make sure you work on personal healing of your mind, your body, and your mind, body, and soul, kind of like your like your spiritual self, and that stuff. It's all connected, because you can't really determine these types of things if you're traumatized. I was actually wondering too if it plays a part in adding to why these even are things as well. So, and only the INTJ would do that, by the way. So I hope that all sees you well and it's understood. So I will just bring this video to a close because I think I explained it pretty okay. But yeah, are you an INTJ? Would you like to find out how we work together depending on your personality type? I'll link something below here so you guys kind of know what I'm talking about. So yeah, thanks for tuning into this video. I thought it was cool to share. This is the topic to talk about because there's so many things to talk about, and I just watched a whole video the other day on INTJs, and I went,
That's been my problem for like a decade.
So if you're an INTJ, what's up? We'll get along fine. If you're in the other INTs or whatever, what's up? We're gonna get along fine. And know the fact that I speak in a monotonous voice
Does not mean I do not have feelings.
I actually have deep feelings. So the people that have kind of known me and known of me over the years, they know that I'm very sensitive. I've, cried in situations where people are like not crying with me. So just because you're an INTJ doesn't mean you don't feel anything. Actually, it's probably the opposite. Because of that, they get overwhelmed, and then yeah, we shut down because we're so connected and understand all the complex, intricate details of everything. So what ends up happening to people who are INTJs is we shut the fuck down. We'll go missing for like a month. We won't talk to you. We'll just like fuck off, So if people could please just realize the way you're perceiving sometimes is not always correct. Try to understand people before you make assumptions and jump to conclusions based on things you have no idea about. So with that, I thank you for tuning into this video. Stay tuned for more videos from moi, and share, subscribe, like, comment something nice below. Yeah, are you an INTJ? Are you going to be any of the mastermind of the purple types and the personalities? Cool. I love this shisha shit. It's my favorite. A lot of the greatest minds in the world were INTJs. That's where great ideas are born, is by spending time alone. So no, we're not antisocial. We're just selective of people we allow in our space, because we need people to meet us at the same level of depth and understanding that we have. Thank you for tuning in. Much love. Bye.